Good morning. Welcome to Core Java Lecture 5. In this session, I am going to explain OOP concepts. The following are basic concepts of object-oriented programming. First one, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. These four are considered to be four pillars of object-oriented programming language. Let me explain one by one in detail. First one, abstraction. In real life, humans manage complexity through abstraction. Humans manage complexity through abstraction. Let me explain you with an example. All of us watch TV. Do we know all the internal parts of the TV and internal parts, mechanism and operations within the TV? No. So all the complex and implementation details are hidden, and we are able to watch the TV by just on and off it by using on and off buttons of TV. In the same way, remote also. That is, though we don't know the internal parts and its implementation details, we are still able to use it very easily. In the same way, car, bike, and so on. This can be applied to computer programming also. The data of procedure-oriented language can be represented in the form of objects. Data can be represented in the form of objects, and each object describes its own unique behavior. All these objects communicate by using a mechanism called message passing. A collection of messages between these objects form sequence of process steps. So here abstraction hides the implementation details and interacts with each other. The objects interacts with each other through message passing mechanism. Let me explain this in the concept of class and objects. Class, we have data and then methods. Data is private to the class, and these methods of this class can use this data, and objects are created for this class, object 1 and object 2. The class has hidden structure. Properties are described by using this data. The methods specify the behavior of this class. Object 1 and object 2 will have the same operations as they are this particular class type. So if object 1 and object 2 want to interact with each other, they need not know the internal representation of these data and methods. They will make use of these methods and then interact with each other through message passing mechanism. So here we are hiding the implementation details and we are focusing on how to use it in a simpler way. This is about abstraction. Next, let me explain encapsulation. Encapsulation is the mechanism that binds together code and the data it manipulates. This keeps code and data safe from outside interference and misuse. So encapsulation will bind data and code. In Java, the basis of encapsulation is the class. Let me define this class. A class defines the structure that can be considered as data or properties or attributes or even fields. Structure and behavior. Behavior here is those operations. You can call them as functions, and usually in Java you are naming them as methods. That will be shared by a set of objects. That means a class defines the structure and behavior that will be shared by a set of objects. Each object of a class contains the structure and behavior defined by the class as if it were molded in the shape of the class. That is why objects are referred to as instances of a class. Now, you need to remember these 2 points here. A class is a logical construct. It's a logical entity. Whereas an object has physical reality. So, a class is created with data and code. These elements are called members of the class. So, data can be, class contains data and code. This data you are calling it as member variable or instance variable. Code you are calling it as member method, or simply you can call it as method. In C or C++, these methods are named as functions. You are calling them as functions. So here methods define how the member variables can be used. How the member variables can be used. Also, methods specify the behavior and interface of a class. That operates on its instance variables. So, what did you understand? Class can implement both the concepts of encapsulation and abstraction. How? So, encapsulation, it is implementing by binding together code and data. You are calling them as members of the class. Abstraction, hidden data, all the details, implementation details are hidden, and you are declaring the objects and then working with the methods in order to communicate with the other objects. So, hides complexity. In order to work with the complexity, each method and variable can be represented as either public or private. Here you are limiting the access, whether it should be visible to the outside of the class or within the class only. So implementation details, whether they can be shown outside or it can be hidden. So this can be implemented by using public and private. Suppose if any of the data members, whether it can be a method or variable, if they are represented as public, it means they can be accessed by users of the class. Whereas if they are represented as private, then these methods and data which are represented as private can only be accessed by code that is a member of the class. Here code means method. You can treat it as method that is a member of that class. So you have learnt about here abstraction and encapsulation. In the next session, I will continue OOP concepts, inheritance and polymorphism. Thank you. Take care. Bye.